Today we got kind of a fun thing going on with a before and after of the honey badger. Before, awesome. After, crazy awesome. This is gonna blow some people's minds. Is it the honey badger or is it the dirty beaver? You decide. What a great shooting gun. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Conceal Carry channel. I am Grant McLean. Today I have a special episode for you, and it is not necessarily a conceal carry gun. Yes, it is a pistol, but not necessarily something conceal carry. It has been asked for, and your boy has delivered. The Honey Badger pistol by Q. This is something I would normally have saved for my Patreon supporters beyond the black shirt, but this is something I had never seen on YouTube, the internet. I cannot find anybody who has taken a factory Honey Badger and highly modified it. And that is exactly what I've done. So I am going to show you today a formal unboxing of the Q Honey Badger pistol in its factory configuration. And then we're going to talk about this bad boy. What the heck have I done to this Badger? If there was ever a review or video we did that was like, I need to share this with everyone, this is going to be it today. So make sure that if you haven't subscribe, hit the like. Of course, we want to get this high in the rankings of YouTube, and share this review with all your friends, family, and other enthusiasts, because what we're showing you today is super cool. I know that this video is going to make some people's eyes freaking roll. This is going to blow some people's minds. You guys have asked, like, can you do a review on the Badger? Well, is it the Honey Badger, or is it, as my friend Scott would say, the dirty beaver? I don't know. You decide. Essentially, what I've built here is what I think that if Q came out with a 5.56 again, because he did a while ago and they were a 16-inch, if they came out with a 5.56 pistol, this is exactly what it should have been or should be. Before we jump into things, you Patreon supporters, you are awesome. If you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, go into the description below and click on the Patreon link. It'll take you to our page, and you can help support the channel and get other exclusive content you won't necessarily see here on the Concealed Carry channel, exception of this, because it is just too cool to hide. Going beyond the black shirt. It's nice. And you also get entries in for our quarterly giveaway. Our last quarter, we gave away a Traeger grill. So these are awesome prizes. Make sure to check that out. I want to say thanks so much to Northwest Armory. If you need to get a gun, visit nwarmory.com. Pick it up in store, have it shipped to your local FFL. And if you'd like to get some awesome reactive targets, visit xhunttargets.com. Let's go ahead and jump into the unboxing portion. Most people have never seen a Honey Badger in person. And if they have, they definitely didn't get to see the box that it came in. So here is the box. Ta-da! All right. Nothing too special or crazy there. It's what's in the box. And as you will see, there's a lot that can be said about what's in this box, but it all boils down to awesome. I agree. And then I took that, I made it more awesome. And it's pretty straightforward, as you can see. Here we are, Honey Badger. Beautiful. Set that aside. We have one magazine, aluminum mag, gray. This is an OK Industries magazine. Got a baggie with some paperwork, lock. There you go. Right there. And sticker inside. Important. Other than that, that's it. Pretty straightforward. let's go ahead and set this box aside. I will tell you this. I was a little disappointed by the packaging. I wish they had done at least a small rifle case or something that was maybe said Q on the outside or was blue or something unique. I mean, heck, you can get a Black Rain Ordnance gun or even a Daniel Defense these days, and all of those less expensive than this, and you actually get a case with the gun. So I was a little disappointed in that, and I think that's something where they could have stepped up on. Maybe a case that had a sleeve for your suppressor, a couple mags, obviously. Would have been awesome. So here we are. In the review here, you'll see me shoot the gun in its factory configuration with my Omega 300 on the front. This Trijicon and Holosun setup on there, and also where I had swapped out from the Magpul MOEK grip to the BCM grip here. So that's how you'll see me shoot this pistol in the first take on this review. Man, it's so quiet. Since then, I have completely modified the gun. And we're going to start, as Grantham would say, from tip to butt. We're going to start from tip to butt, and I'm going to show you everything that I have changed. Now, what the heck would inspire me to change such a sought-after gun? That's the big question. It came down to this. Ammo availability. Simple. Didn't come down to ammo cost. I knew 300 Blackout was more expensive than 5.56, but what it came down to is every store either doesn't have 300 Blackout. Doesn't matter if it's subsonic, supersonic, doesn't matter. They don't have 300 Blackout, and if they do, you can't buy enough of it to actually go out for the weekend or a long day of shooting and training. And that was kind of the bummer, is it's like, oh man, well, you know, I only have 2 boxes or 3 boxes of ammo, so I need to use these very sparingly, which does have its benefits of making sure that each trigger pull is used to its full potential. You know, don't waste bullets. Nonetheless, dry firing, snap caps, things like that, they only go so far without felt recoil. So what I did was I made some changes. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here. In the factory configuration, we have everything on here is Q. So you have your cherry bomb, you have the Q 1-5 twist, 300 Blackout, a 7-inch barrel, you got the 6-inch handguard, upper lowers, all factory. You got your Rearden controls here, you have your Geisley flat face trigger there. Then you have your brace, your Q proprietary brace. You'll also find the same brace on the Noveske Ghetto Blaster as well. It is slightly different actually on the Noveske. And then you have your Q Raptor charging handle there. Everything here is exactly as it would be if you got it from the factory. And then this is actually like the factory mag as well. One of the things that I absolutely love about this gun is they clear anodize their parts, so it's very all natural, and that's what gives it this super cool look. Is the upper and lower are slightly different in color. It's because they're naturally a little bit different in color. The 6-inch and the 12-inch rails are just slightly different, and it's just because that's how God made them. They're just a little bit different, and it's very neat because if you were to say like gouge this rail or scratch this rail, it's hard to see any of that. If you gouge or scratch the receivers, it's hard to see it. For me, even as beautiful as a gun as this is, I'm not afraid to really use this gun. I'm not afraid to, you know, set it down in some rocks and go set up some target. I'm not afraid of that because it almost just adds to the patina of it and makes it look better and better and better. I really, really like that. So this is pretty straightforward. You can see about 1 million reviews on just a Honey Badger in its factory configuration. But we're not here for that. We're here for this. Before, awesome. After, crazy awesome. All right, so as I was saying, we're going to go tip to butt, just as Grantham would say. Got a lot of respect for him and what he does. It's just sweet. What we have here is we have a Honey Badger chambered in 5.56. So like I was saying, I was having a lot of trouble finding 300 blackout in general, and then also finding 300 blackout in enough that I could go out and do a good amount of shooting with the gun. So what I did was I converted it to 5.56. From the front here, we'll start at the tip there, and you're going to first see this awesome Cloud Defense Rain weapon light. Cloud Defense did a limited run of clear anodized lights. Had to pick one up. Went with that clear anodized theme, all natural theme, very, very well. And then I put that onto one of their SBR mounts to kind of have it poke out a little bit further, because I do run this with the suppressor on it. So I have that out a little bit further. It functions very, very well. You have your control right on that top rail. Looks beautiful, functions very, very well. Next thing here is you'll see that the brake on this is a lot different. I know that this comp is going to be something that people who already have these guns are definitely going to be asking about. The reason why I did away with the cherry bomb is because I have a 12.5-inch barrel on this, and this is a 12-inch rail. Well, once everything's all assembled and you have that cherry bomb on there, the threads on the cherry bomb sit further back behind the front of the rail. So when you put your suppressor on it, your suppressor barely fits, or at least this one. This is an Omega 300. It barely fits inside of the rail. And it kind of, and it touches the rail. There's your problem right there. You don't want your suppressor to touch the rail, obviously. If you have your rail leaning against something and then it pushes against the suppressor, now it's going to change the trajectory of the bullet. I wanted something that was going to work this way. So instead of cutting down the rail, what I did is a little bit of luck. These guys here popped up from a friend of mine. And he said, hey, has anybody checked these things out? And nope. So I ordered one right away. I was like, wow, that looks like the threads stick out a little bit further. Maybe it'll be enough, and I can put a shim in there to make it just a little bit further if need be. I didn't have to use any shims, and it sits out just the perfect amount to where I can run the suppressor on there and it does not hit the rail. So it's about a 1/16 of an inch gap. Absolutely perfect. It's heat treated, so it does have that beautiful kind of copper wheat colored look to it until, of course, you start shooting it, and then it's going to change to kind of a black color, which, hey, you know what? It goes with the kind of the theme of all natural, baby. So change that out from the cherry bomb. Again, that's a Rearden comp, single port comp, and it is compatible with the whistle tip. So if you're wanting to run a blast shield, you'll see that I run a blast shield on this, and then also you can take this off. So it kind of depends on, you know, where and who you're shooting with. So if you want to be kind to your neighbors, because this thing will let off quite the fireball and concussion. Using the Plan B adapter to the Omega 300, again, that works perfectly as well. they did a very smart thing in addressing what some honey badger owners are wanting is a comp, but they still want to use the Q attachments, like the blast shield or their whistle tip, and maybe their Plan B attachments. So I think that that's awesome what they've done there. The rail scales setup that I have here, I have their sling mount. This is their Terra Bronze sling mount. I like this very much. It goes with, obviously, the look of the gun perfectly. Over here I have their G10 Matrix pattern rail scales. On the bottom, this one's kind of neat because it actually has a cutout for their hand stop. And this is also in the Terra Bronze as well. So it's kind of neat. They assumed, hey, if you're going to do this, let's make it look very finished. Rail Scales does amazing stuff. And I wanted to go with the G10 because you can kind of see the layers to it, giving it, again, a very natural look. And this feels great. It is so easy to get a hold of this and just pull that right back into you so nicely, and it looks just so finished. I love that. I did want to go with the thinner rail scale up here because I didn't want to hide what was underneath it, and that's a beautiful BSF carbon fiber barrel, and we'll talk about that right now. The BSF carbon fiber barrel is a 12.5-inch barrel. I also have a Superlative gas block, adjustable gas block there. Now, I wanted to go with the carbon fiber, not necessarily for weight savings, but I wanted to go with it for the aesthetic of, again, being all natural. So that carbon fiber is really complementary to the rest of everything that we have going on. Now, the BSF barrels, what they are is it's a fluted barrel, and then they put a carbon fiber sleeve over that, and that carbon fiber sleeve has holes in it, kind of ovals, and those ovals in a certain way complement the M-LOK rail system. So everything looks very cohesive together. It looks really sharp. The Superlative gas block, I did just kind of like the satin stainless look. Again, looks very natural as well, complements all that. Going back here into the upper receiver, I've changed out the dust cover here. This is an Esmos dust cover, and as you can see, it matches the rail, matches the brace. That gray matches very, very well. Going into the magazine, I really like these Duramags. They function well for me. They're anodized, kind of this bronze color, and then I have the Magpul little chamallow there. These look really good, very cohesive with the rest of the firearm. Down here in the controls, as you can see, I've kept the Rearden safety levers. I like those a lot. They look very good. But what I have changed is the mag release and the bolt release, and also added in a ambi mag release. And they work very, very well. One of the things that kind of bugged me, I guess I'm a little OCD about it, is when I look at a gun and I see the way they designed it, and then it's like they fell short on something they shouldn't have. And that was certainly the case on the controls. So you have these mil-spec controls from the factory. Nothing necessarily wrong with that, but the problem is you had this beautiful cutout and machining here in the upper receiver. Why not have a complementing bolt release, something nice and big? Because you know that's exactly what people are going for in a performance firearm. So I've added in that forward controls. This one is rear biased, so if you have this gun and you want to do this as well, make sure that you get their rear biased bolt release. And then this is their ambi mag release. So both mag releases are forward controls. Looks great, functions incredibly well. Back here on the grip, I swapped out the Magpul MOEK grip for the BCM grip. I like this grip better. It feels better. It's not as thin. I just didn't really care for that. It made, when I would hold the gun, it made the gun feel cheap, and I hate that. So, because it's not a cheap gun. It's such a well design gun, and I just wanted a grip that felt more substantial. So I went with the Magpul. Plus it does have the little door underneath here for storage if that's the case. Because at this point, you know, now I have more things on this gun. I'm not so concerned about the gun being super lightweight. Going back here into the charging handle, I changed out the charging handle for an NP3 coated Rearden Raptor charging handle. The original one is like that clear anodized, and it's their Rearden HB. It's smaller, and I wanted something I could get a, you know, better positive purchase on. But I also found this, that with the original one, that if you pull back the charging handle, all right, this charging handle would have trouble really latching back on, and I just kept having issues with that. I was like, you know what, I don't know if I'm really digging that. So what I did was, well, I just swapped it out for one that I just like that much more. And I'll tell you what, so you can kind of see, it gets stuck there, but it's so small that if it got stuck there and there's no forward assist on these guns, that if you needed to jam that forward, it is kind of awkward, especially if you do have your optic coming back a little bit further like this ACOG. This was definitely a lot slicker. So I did really like that. Nice, slick. I don't have any hang-ups there. I've been very, very happy with this. So I swapped that out. Of course, in that NP3 coating, it looks very, very good. Cohesive with the rest of the gun for sure. Up top, we have the ACOG. I had been waiting on this Honey Badger for a while, and I had the opportunity to pick up one of these ACOGs in this cool bronze finish. And so I bought it because I knew I would be putting it onto the Badger, and I wanted something, again, very natural looking. I've been very happy with this. This is a 4 magnification. It's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. Now, originally I had an RMR on top, and I swapped that out for the Holosun 509T. Like I said, this is going to make some people just grit their teeth. This whole thing is going to piss people off. They're like, how could you defile one of the most sought-after guns, period? Well, hopefully I just explained why. Don't worry, I still have the 300 Blackout barrel and handguard. I can swap this over at any time I want to. But in the time being, in the current environment, 5.56 223 is what I have, and this thing runs like a beast. I really like enclosed red dots. And the Holosun I really like because the 509, at least this model here, is enclosed. It's an enclosed red dot. It uses the RMR footprint, so I didn't have to do anything in that regard. And I really like how it's not just a dot, but it also has the large circle around it. So it's very easy to pick up. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of, and you don't really shoot this gun as a precision gun, you can see there's no cheek rest here, is getting used to your head position when using this, because your head's kind of floating up. So doing that was probably the biggest thing that I had to overcome, and really that's just getting used to where it's going to be when I flip this up. But overall, I have been super happy with this. I have it sighted in for about 25, 35 yards. It's just perfect. Now, the 4 magnification ACOG, I've sighted this in for about 100 yards, and this thing is so stupidly spot on. I can't say enough about it. It is so freaking sweet. Going back into the brace here, this is exactly how it came from the factory. It functions well. I do put a little bit of lube on the rails here because sometimes they do get a little sticky. That clear anodize is kind of like a satin finish. It's very soft. It's not slick. So I oil up all over the place on this gun just to keep it running how I want it, nice and smooth. But there is one thing that I will tell you this. I was saying earlier how the Noveske Ghetto Blaster, that brace is a little bit different, and it actually has another notch in it, so it stops kind of midway here, and then you can press the button and extend it out all the way. For some people, they're going to want this extended all the way, and that's fine. For other folks, they're going to want it halfway. I think it kind of depends on your build and how you want to run this gun. But that is probably something that I'll do with this, is I'll take it in and have another notch put in to this rail, and that way it stops halfway, because that's where I kind of feel my magic sweet spot for this would be, is right about there. But other than that, you guys, you know, I know that this video is going to make some people's eyes freaking roll. This is going to blow some people's minds. I would love to hear from you. If this is a gun that you have, what do you think of what I have done? Do you like it? Do you hate it? You know what? I'm not going to change it anyways, but I want to hear it. If these modifications that I have made are something that you've considered, definitely comment below. Of course, make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and other enthusiasts. This is definitely something different, and I wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to see this because it is so cool. For those of you who are our Patreon supporters, again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure that if you're not a Patreon supporter, to check out our Patreon page and get entries in for those quarterly giveaways. Plus, you'll see some extra exclusive content that we produce that is what we call Beyond the Black Shirt, showing things more like this. This was just a special exception because there's been so much time, research, and effort, and just everything put into this. I had to share it with everybody because I know that this is going to be this is going to be so crazy. Again, thank you guys so much for checking out my review and my build on the Honey Badger pistol. Other than that, we will see you next time here on the Concealed Carry channel. Thanks again. Mike Ceccarino. For once, the black shirt is not going to hide the gun because it's not black. So stay tuned. I'm going to redo that real quick. All right, so here we are. All right. I keep saying that. Jeez, what am I, Kevin Hart? Maybe I'm Matthew McConaughey. All right.